Yeah, that should be a good one for you.
Yep.
All right, welcome back to the Wantrepreneur to Entrepreneur Shift the Culture podcast. We are on episode 19, Gail. 19
Wow.
episodes in. It's been a while.
It's my longest relationship.
Probably your longest job too. So yes, today we'll have a special topic. We're going to be talking about something that I think that's pertinent in our society, and many Bahamians suffer from this, and it's a defeatist mentality. And to touch on this topic, I thought it would be fitting to bring in superstar, celebrity, Mr. Lincoln Bain, Mr. Controversy, the ultimate or original controversy TV man, Lincoln Bain, also radio personality and potential candidate in the upcoming election. Also, what a lot of you don't know, many of you probably know from just going around and peeking in people's car and catching them doing things they ain't supposed to be doing. But Lincoln Bain is also a successful entrepreneur himself. And he has a wonderful boot camp that he'll be hosting shortly. So we also want him to talk on that as well. And that also, has to do with our topic today. So we're going to let him touch on that. And so let's get into it. Gail, defeatist mentality. Now, this is something I think probably affects maybe 95% of Bahamians. I think it about that high, and I think I may be being generous with that number. How many do you experience this defeatist mentality, and in what ways have you been experiencing it lately?
When you say defeatist, I just want to know what you're referring to, or what you would interpret as defeatist.
Okay, that's where the person has an extreme lack of confidence, where it's like they can't do anything for themselves. It's always only dependent on other people, whether it be government or somebody else to do for them. Like they can't do anything for themselves. Like they're already defeated. In their mind, they're already defeated. They're not even going to try because they can't fathom doing anything that's going to benefit them.
Okay. What was the question, sorry? If I believe that it is...
No, I mean, what has been your experience with these types of people? Like, how often do you run into these people, and what are some common traits that these people display, common,
Well,
actions?
I think defeatist is almost, what do you call it, like I don't want to say a coping mechanism. It's like something that you go back to that's comfortable for you. I think we're kind of raised in that sort of defeatist society where we've been spoon-fed essentially through our education system, through our families, etc. There's no, in my opinion, there's no real push to maybe find things out for yourself or discover things for yourself. Even with our, this is a thing of mine, but with our school system, we've practiced regurgitation as opposed to, trying to find out or come to your own conclusion.
Actually, critical thinking. Yeah, more
right?
retention and regurgitation.
Correct. So we've had this process of regurgitation built or taught to us from a young age. You move into high school, we see examinations being edited to make things easier for students.
Really?
Yeah, over the course of the years, the BGCSE examination, in my opinion, has been dumbed down from the days of the GCSE and other things. I mean, the testing system on the whole is another topic altogether, but I believe that this process of spoon feeding and regurgitation, where don't tell me how to think or don't give me any guidance to thinking, just tell me what the answer is. I can retain that or memorize that and regurgitate that to pass a test. That's fine. And it just reoccurs throughout life, and then you graduate from high school where you've been spoon-fed, and then a lot of our Bahamian parents baby or coddle Bahamians or young people, and it's just a reoccurring cycle that we see in the workforce, etc. So in my strong opinion, it's very prevalent here, and I think it's a deep-rooted problem within our society. I think it's a black people thing as well as a Bahamian thing, and it's a hindrance to progress.
Lincoln, now you speak to a lot of people, you're in the community a lot. Tell us about your experience when it comes to people with this defeatist mentality that always, come to you, oh man, you could help me do this, or I need you to do this for me. What has been your experience when it comes to this defeatist mentality here in the Bahamas?
My experience has been that to understand this is a part of our culture. it has been inbred in all of us, not just the blacks who suffered from the slavery thing, but even the whites that are here were defeatists in that the Lutheran adventurers were some of the whites, and they were running from something, you know, and some of the whites that came from the south part of North America, the southern states, they were running from something, you know, they were the loyalists. So all of these people had a certain type of mentality, and all of them came together. Even though the blacks were more subjugated, we were taught to be a subjugated people. We were taught to be dependent on massa.
Yes, yes.
And we were taught that we couldn't be anything we wanted to be. And so we carried that over into the future. We bred our children that way. We tell our children, you have to live the Bahamian dream, which is go to school, get a job, get a government home, and a Honda with rims. You get a mortgage, and you work for the rest of your life for somebody. And that is why we are defeatists. You can't speak out and say anything because you need to keep your job.
Exactly.
To pay that mortgage.
Yeah, and a car note that you're going to the bank for. And whatever other vacation loan or school fee loan that you took out.
Christmas loan.
So it's bred in us. And two, it's because it's based on the book that I wrote that seems to be selling very good in Nassau, because so many people have this problem. It's because we have an identity crisis. We don't know who we are. We don't know who we are. We don't know what we're supposed to be. We have no identity. We always joke about the Bahamian who lands in America and immediately he's talking like Americans.
Yeah, oh, that's true. Yeah. For 2 days, come back with slang.
When I was in school in the States, we would say they're Yankin. Talking like the Yankees.
And it happens so often. But how do we deal with this? Like, how do we resolve this identity crisis? You want to touch on it, Gail? How do we do
Not
it?
the identity crisis. I don't know if Lincoln wants to address that before because I was thinking about something else in that where we're at is made it very easy to be defeatist, in that it's being easy to make a living in the Bahamas. And when I say make a living, I mean get by. For so long, we've been doing, especially illegal activities, for so long, from piracy, spudging,
rum running,
number down numbers is the main thing, where you can have a hustle and you can scrape up a few dollars to survive. Why go above and beyond? If I'm making enough money to maybe get a tin of corned beef and some rice, and then I could buy my Jordans on the side.
But hold on, in certain circumstances that may be above and beyond though. Because you have to do, in those activities, you have to do so much more to not get caught. You almost have to be above and beyond to do some of these activities, because you have to evade, like I said, getting caught, and you still have to be successful at the same time.
You get caught here? That's interesting.
Oh yeah, some people do. Some people do.
When they don't pay taxes.
Well, it depends on who you are. Now, if you're poor, you're luck buck. Don't be a poor man and get caught. Now, if you're a rich man, you're a rich numbers man or whatever he is, you're straight. You pay a couple dollars and you're straight. But if it's a poor man, you don't get caught in this town. But Lincoln, identity crisis. Speak about it.
Yeah.
Why do we have this identity crisis, and how can we begin to find ourselves?
It's because we're a colonized people, first and foremost. All of us. The first thing a colony does when it comes to an area is takes away the identity of a people. They take away your language. They take away your history. They make you forget who you are. We would celebrate the colonial European part of our history. The African part, we have no idea. We would even celebrate Guy Fawkes.
But why do we continue to celebrate these foreign history and foreign cultures as opposed to embracing ours or building upon our culture?
Because we're like a bird that has been caged for many years. When you open that gate to let the bird out, he stays in the cage.
Because that's all he's used to.
He's free.
That's all he know.
A horse, if you watch cowboy movies good, they don't have to tie those horses down anymore. When they first break them, they would just come and they just put the rope over whatever the tie-in bar is. They just put it over. They don't tie it off, lock it, and the horse will not move.
That's powerful.
That's just like
because he's broken, and we're a broken people, and so we don't know who we are because they've stolen our identity, and so that is where the problem comes in.
Which video are you referring to, Gail?
The video when the people were waiting in the doctor's office, and then they rang the bell and everybody stood up, and then the lady just started standing up because that's what you do. She didn't receive any instruction
Without
or
question.
ask anything. Yeah. And
Without
then as
question.
everybody left, she still, and then as people came in, essentially that's really what it is. We've learned this behavior over many years. This isn't a new thing, but we're now really, I think that it's almost a voluntary ignorance where you have the option of educating yourself. And
Especially
I'm not talking
nowadays.
about school education. I mean seeking knowledge for yourself. And some people have chosen not to do that. They've put the blinkers on, as he mentioned, the horses. I'm thinking about, you know, this is what's in front of you, the carrot's dangling there, and there's no decision to say, you know what, let me think a different kind of way, or maybe something's a little bit different over here. So yeah.
And why do you think that is?
It's easy.
It's comfortable.
It's comfortable.
And I always tell people, don't underestimate the power of tradition. Tradition is very powerful. A lot of people do things simply because it's the way it's always been done. And they don't want to, you know, upset that or cause any, you know, ruckus, so they just continue to go along to get along. So we underestimate the power of tradition. And I think, especially in this country, we are deep-rooted in tradition. We don't want to change nothing in this country. Now, we'll complain about things the way it is all day, every day. We'll complain. But then when you put forward something that changes it, nobody want to hear that. So it's like, well, what do you really want? Do you really want that change, or do you want to maintain the status quo?
By nature, people, I have this saying, people loop. That's a saying I got from being a computer scientist. When you write code, you know there's a loop, right? And so people loop. They keep going around in circles. Whatever you do, that's what you always do. Wherever you go to get your hair done, that's where you go to get your hair done. Wherever you go to get your nails done, that's where you go. Wherever you go for your grocery, that's where you go. Whatever movie, TV series you start to watch, that's what you're going to watch. So someone opening a new barbershop business, well, that wouldn't even appeal to you. You don't care. Their flyer, you won't be interested because you already have your barber. And so likewise, whatever traditions we start, we tend to keep it. We get locked in because we only have certain...
It's back on now.
Yeah, back on. I say when people call me during the That's the bad part with using data. Because I normally want to cut my phone off.
That's never do not disturb.
Where it wouldn't allow the calls. I got to look into that. Because I can need to do that. Right. Okay, so yes, tradition. Yeah, tradition is powerful. People, and you know what it is. That's just the function of the brain. The brain usually searches for the easiest way to do things, and whatever is used to do it, it's going to revert to automatically. So it's not to blame anybody or say that, you know, something's wrong with people. That's just naturally how it is. You have to actually make an effort to make yourself do something different or think differently. So
it's the downside of efficiency. Your brain is trying to be most efficient, and being efficient is getting the most results while putting in the least effort. There's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is, if you get stuck with that, you will never get out of that loop. You'll be trapped in the loop. And so that's what people are doing. It's your natural tendency, right? And it helps you.
Yeah, definitely in many situations.
You have to make certain assumptions as a person every day. You have to assume the sun is going to come up. You can't sit down analyzing that all day.
Right.
You know, you assume certain things.
Right.
You know, you're driving in traffic, a car is coming towards you. You have to know because of the lane he's in, he's going to turn that way. You know, you can't sit there worrying and think, no, it's just an automatic response. And so that's how we function as a people.
Okay, now let's talk about your event that's coming up. What's the name of it? When is it? And what made you want to do it?
Well, it's called the Business Boot Camp. And the reason I was inspired to do it is because I have a show I call Freedom Fridays on my talk show. And we tell people how to stop being a slave. Because I believe that being on a job is slavery. It's new age slavery. Okay? And so I teach people how to be a runaway slave like me. I had one job in my life. One job. And that was the police force. Okay? And I escaped that plantation. Never looked back.
Okay.
And I'm trying to teach other people to do the same thing. And so many people have been calling me and saying they want to learn more. Some people have quit their jobs and gone into business, but they don't know how to get to the next step, next level. And so what we decided to do, I spend most of my day advising young entrepreneurs especially, all day. And so I decided, look, I'm going to bring as many people in one place as possible and just teach them. So on day one, we're going to be teaching you about startups, about starting up a business and gaining financing. So I'm going to speak on that because I've started up many businesses, including multi-million-dollar businesses. And a banker is going to teach you about raising capital. A lawyer is going to teach you about all of the legal side of starting a business. So you're getting everything in one. It's one speech that we're interweaving that we'll be participating in. So it's going to be really, really interesting. But she's going to teach you everything about the legal side. You're going to learn about financing, and then I'm going to teach you about startups. You know, why you should do it, how to do it. Give you case studies so you understand how this thing works. So it's going to be brilliant. Day two, you're going to learn about sales and marketing. So you start your business. Someone told me, I started a lawnmower business, a lawn care business, but everyone already has someone who does their yard. So I can't break into the business. I got the equipment, I'm ready to go, but they just say, well, they have their man. And so that's where you learn that people loop. But you have to learn how to break that loop. Any new business has to break the loop. Okay? And so we're going to teach you how to break that loop, how to get people to come to your business. Right? There is a way to do it. And so we're going to teach you how to do that. If you are not able to break people's loop, you will never be able to succeed in business. The loop is the reason that 99% of businesses fail 1 to 3 years. That's the reason. Because any business you decide to go in, someone's already doing it.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Nothing new under the sun.
So even if they're doing it in a different way, your new way has to convince people to move to you. Sometimes it just takes time. Amazon.com is huge right now, but it took him 8 years.
And and people don't know that, like, and there's a saying that I heard at a seminar that I was at. It takes 10 years to be an overnight success, and people hear it, but they don't believe that. But it actually takes about 10 years for all that work and dedication that you put in to really manifest itself into a big success that, you know, the broader audience would then see in the manifestation.
Now, there are ways to do it faster. There are ways to do it faster. I've had businesses that have done it faster. The risk in doing it faster is that you risk bankruptcy even more. A lot of people don't understand that. The faster your business grows...
Tell us why.
Because the more your business grows, the more money you need. The more efficiency you need. The more chance there is for failure because everything is moving so fast. You can't control what's going on. You know, so the more you're growing, and whenever you're in a growth phase in business, you don't have money because you're spending everything to grow.
Everything is going right back.
Okay? And so because you're spending everything to grow, one mistake, your door is closed. And so people have to understand all of this. And so we're going to teach them, you know, these kinds of things. On day 3, we're going to teach you about the internet business, internet marketing and e-commerce.
The future.
The present. Bahamians treat it as a future because they're not there yet. But everywhere else in the world, they're doing it. I've been doing internet business. I've been making a lot of money. So we're going to break down, we're going to give you examples of many, many internet businesses that you can go into. And we're going to tell you exactly how to do it. We're going to give you a business in a box. We'll tell you how to do it. We'll tell you how you could collect credit cards, how you could do business with someone in New Zealand, you know, how you get the money to you. We're going to teach you all the steps. All right? Someone go to your website, put in their credit card information, it goes to you, it's in your bank. How do you do it? And so we're going to break down everything for you. So when you leave in these 3 days, you're going to be able to run any business you want. Whether you're starting up, whether you're in a business, established already, and you want to take it to the next level, this is for everybody. We're also going to have several entrepreneurs who are doing their thing, who've been doing their thing, who have volunteered to come in and tell, you know, newer people, or even established people, how they did what they did, how they're doing what they did.
And what I like is you want to go
ahead, sorry.
Okay, what I like is that the people that you said you got is like people that really started with nothing. You didn't want to get the people that inherited, you know, money and stuff, because I think that's great because it shows that you can do it. Anyone can do it, and you don't need a bunch of money. And it really helps to get rid of that defeatist mentality, because people often defeat themselves mentally by saying, well, I don't have the money and stuff like that. I don't have the resources, all that stuff. They defeat themselves from just, those facts. But the thing is, in this day and age, you don't need a lot of money. You don't need a bunch of resources. You just have to be resourceful.
I started a multi-million-dollar tennis store, multi-million-dollar tennis store with $540. Many businesses that started small. Bamboo Shack started from a hole in a wall. Audio Plus, the Hit Spot, he started in his trunk.
You wanted to say something, Gail?
Yeah, I had 2 questions for Lincoln. The first one was, is there a practical, I know you mentioned a lot of theory, is there a practical part of the boot camp? Because a lot of people are career boot campers here as well, where, they're kind of, that's a thing, that's an outing for them, to go to these sorts of seminars and to get this sort of information and to go home and do the exact same thing. So I just wanted to know if there was a practical part or something that you would kind of fact check these people so that, yes, you're disseminating this information, but you have something that can at least separate the sheep from the goat at the boot camp to say, these are the people who are serious, or this is what I want to do, some practical part. And then my second question was also about getting around yourself, because this information is available generally, and I'm sure from what you're telling me, it sounds, or from what you're saying, it sounds like it's a lot of valuable information. But if the person isn't mentally prepared to receive that information, it won't really help them. So is there some mental aspect maybe on day one or something like that in terms of getting around yourself to be able to do something practical with the information that you're giving?
Well, in terms of separating the sheep from the goat, the only person that can separate the sheep from the goat is you.
Agreed.
The practical side of this thing is up to you.
Exactly.
We're going to give you this information in such a way that, see, I don't know if you ever heard any of my seminars, my presentations. People come out of there inspired, and what we do is we transform your mind and your thinking, because that's all it takes. You have some people who were successful in business and didn't follow any principles. You cannot be successful in business without following principles. I know I said things that contradict just now. You must follow principles. If you're going to be a farmer, you must follow certain rules.
Right.
You start a farm, but you can't just go and throw a seed out there. You got to do certain things. And then you learn certain other tricks. The same thing in business. It's the same thing. If you don't understand the principles, you're not going to make it. But at the same time, there are some people who are able to be successful. Young people, like Bill Gates, he didn't know what principles he was following. Right. He was still following them, but he just didn't know. Now, when you presented to him in such a way, he's like, oh, that's what I was doing all this time. And it makes sense to him. And now he can take his practical experience he already had with the information you presented to him in a clever way, and then he can take it to the next level. To succeed in not only business, but anything, you got to be hungry.
Oh, yeah.
That must come from within you. The fact that someone leaves their home from watching The Voice or whatever's on TV to come there, that's the first step. That separates the sheep from the goat. Having to come and pay to do that, that separates the sheep from the goat. The people who are going to take that and get out there and be practical and get this done, we're going to be there to help them and assist them. We're already doing that. So we're going to be able to assist young entrepreneurs especially. They're going to have access to a website where they can have access to us, have access to information constantly, and they're going to be able to use that to take it to the next level. Whether they succeed is up to them.
Yeah. Only thing you can do is provide them with the information and the opportunity.
Every successful person in the history of the world was a reader. Every successful person. I don't care who you're talking about. I don't care if you're talking about Albert Einstein or Tupac. Tupac was a reader. That's why he knew about Machiavelli.
Now, hold on, I just tell you I don't like to read now. What you trying to tell me now? What you trying to tell me now? Because I ain't no big reader. But I tell you what.
You mightn't read a book, but you live on the internet. You live on YouTube. When I say reading, it's getting information.
You mean routine? Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
taking information.
Seeking knowledge.
Back then, you had to get it in the book. Now we got YouTube.
Exactly. You don't have to. And you do it a lot quicker, and you could also multitask in a way. You don't have to take that time and sit and... Because when you're reading, you basically can't do anything else. But if you are like watching videos and stuff like that and getting your information that way, you can also be doing things, because I watch those videos while I'm making dough and baking cookies. So I'm working and I'm learning at the same time. You know what I mean? So I find that just works for me.
Yeah, I think it's best that you find out what works for you, because some people are auditory learners, some people are visual, some people are kinesthetic, some people learn in different ways. So it's even better if you discover how best you learn and then apply that to seeking how you look for knowledge from these different sources. So yeah.
Okay, now let's leave them with some advice on how to get out of this defeatist or slave mentality, whatever you want to call it, but this mentality that you can't do nothing for yourself and you always making excuses as to why you can't be successful. What can you leave them with to say to get them out of that, break them out of that mentality?
The first thing you have to do if you want to be a success is learn to break all the rules.
Okay.
Every successful person breaks the rules. And I'm not talking about the law. I'm talking about the rules.
Right.
Every successful person breaks the rules. That's the first thing. And you have to conquer your fears. If you watch a certain race of people, they seem fellas. A lot of us black people, we're timid and afraid. And even in the movies, they portray that. The bushcraft, black man gone. The white people, they're bungee jumping and jumping out of planes, and they're doing some stuff. And we say, only white people do that.
Yeah, and we call them crazy for it.
But it causes a mentality, a fearless mentality, a brave mentality that would cause a man like Columbus to be able to look at that horizon when everyone taught him that he's going to fall over to say, let me see.
Exactly.
You have to develop that let me see mentality. The only difference between you and your employer is that he was able to take a risk that would have made him or break him. You were afraid.
Yep.
That's why he's writing the checks and you're receiving them. It's the only difference. So you have to decide to make it to that next step. Only you can do that.
Right. Gail?
I think getting out of your own way is the most important thing. As mentioned, mentally, you can receive all the information, you can study everything you want, but I think a lot of people are in their own way, in that we've developed this belief system and we've developed certain truths about ourselves that we believe, and we carry that on a daily basis. And I think that it's imperative that you get out of your own way, essentially. You are the only one hindering your progress, as Lincoln has mentioned. You are the only person determining your success. And so I think that some realization of self and what it is that you want to do and what you have in mind to do can help you progress and really make some moves in terms of knowing who you are and knowing where you want to go, because a lot of people, especially here in Nassau, they love to get in your way. I think that you will have enough opposing forces as it is without you yourself being one of them. So I think once you know who you are, where it is that you're going, anything that anybody else may say or do won't affect you in the ways that it would if you are defeatist, and that you can move forward and you can achieve the success that you want.
And me, what I would leave him with is to change, and this is what I preach all the time, change your perspective. If you want to change your life, the first thing you have to do is change your perspective. I think the way people look at life is what is hindering them, because your perspective leads to your conviction, and your conviction leads to your action or inaction. And so change your perspective in the way you see life. People look at life from a negative perspective. They look at all the wrong things in life, and that's what really, really keeps them back. So I would say just change your perspective. See anything as possible. Anything is possible. And also, like I like to say, buddy, you can die anyway. You can die, and you don't know when that can happen.
Make sure you die good.
Listen, what you got to lose? You can die. You have an expiry date. You understand? Your time is going to end. So stop putting things off for another day. Or I can do that this time. I said, no, you may die tomorrow. So if whatever it is you want to do or you feel passionate about what moves you, put it in action. Don't wait for tomorrow.
On that point, I was also actually talking to a friend today about habits, because even if you don't take the dive right away, you can change certain habits in your life as a build-up to making that change to be successful. For example, our eating habits, what we do with exercise, what we read and look at, the programs we decide to take in. These are simple, small things that you can change to make big steps toward this entrepreneurial life. I had it's an acronym that I had a few years ago in a program I was doing. It's called REPOH, REPO. Repetition easy, easy pleasure, pleasure often, often habit. The repetition of what it is that you're doing, it becomes easy. When it's easy, it's pleasurable for you. When it's pleasurable for you, you do it often, and then it becomes a habit. They say you have 21 days, I think, to develop a new habit. Is that correct?
I mean, I guess it may vary, but I guess
most people say 30 days.
21 to 30 days of repetition to develop this habit. And I think you can change small habits in your life, and it can make a big difference in the long run. So I just thought it was ironic, you know, we having this conversation. I thought about that today. So
awesome.
I just wanted to share.
So let's wrap up with Lincoln. Tell us when the business boot camp is, where it is. Give us the details. Yeah, what do people need to do to be a part of it?
It's starting on the 28th of November. That's next Monday. The 28th.
When Monday after next is?
Yeah, Monday after next.
Okay.
Yeah, Monday after next.
Yeah, you live in
so,
good.
Yeah. The 28th, the 5th, and the 12th. Okay? And it's going to be at the Hilton Hotel. And it's going to be, it's $50 per session. If you're paying for all 3 sessions, it's $100.
Okay, so you get a $50 discount.
Yeah.
If you use all those, 2 or 3.
And so you're going to walk out there able to open a business.
Awesome.
I assume this is during the day?
No, it's 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Okay.
So that's 7 p.m. and that's three Mondays, you said?
Yes.
3 Mondays,
Back to back.
7 p.m. So people, listen, if you want to change your life, Lincoln is doing something. He don't have to do this. He had a man and start all these big, rich businesses. He got money. He don't have to do this for you, but he cares about you. He wants you to take charge of your life. He wants you to stop being a slave. He wants you to be a runaway slave like him. So take advantage of this opportunity. Learn from people that have done it and are continuing to do it so that you don't have to be dependent on people. Change your life. And like we like to say all the time on this show, losers make excuses, winners make adjustments. Thank you for listening, people, and thank you, Lincoln. Appreciate it.
It's the after show.
Bing.
It's the after show.
Right on 30 minutes, we good to go.
Travis.
You was watching?
No, I just told him no.
All right, that wasn't too bad, eh?
Yeah, man, it's awesome.
All right.